Hey Hillcrest family, my name's David. I love being one of the pastors around here, and this is Larry, our elder chair, and we just wanted to pause for a minute and reflect and look back on God's faithfulness this past year in 2022, and then briefly look ahead to what we get excited about for 2023.
I just wanted to give you a 30,000-foot view of from the elder chairman perspective. Some significant things. We said goodbye to Dean Jensen, who had been an elder for several years here. He moved to Tennessee, and we miss his input to our board greatly. But we have added Neil Gammon to the board, and he has been a great addition and filled the role, some of the roles that Dean had, especially in taking notes. He's great at that, just as good as Dean was. And we have a third candidate, Dan Hale, who is right now working on studying his theology to prepare to become an elder.
Yeah, and so when we talk about just all the good that's happening around here, we don't talk about giving to Hillcrest, but instead we love to talk about giving through Hillcrest and through this community to all the things that are taking place around here, and to accomplish this mission of being people helping people find life with Jesus, one life at a time, just like you heard Larry highlight in some of the things that have been meaningful to him. And so just when you think of some of the corporate things, the collective things that have been happening around here, what are some of those things that are top of the list for you?
Yeah, well, as we approach Christmas, some really big things happened. We worked with our care team, provided an opportunity for our people to contribute gifts to elementary school students in the Oregon School District. We were able to donate 115 gifts. We had Operation Christmas Child again this year, and something like 128 shoe boxes went out from our people.
And I love our heart to seek transformation in our homes, our neighborhoods, and our world. I loved some of the intentional shift we made around Triple Treat. Rather than having one collective space where we all gather, we've actually released 17 different sites all across the community for deploying everyday missionaries through this Halloween event called Triple Treat that serves our community. We had nearly 750 people from our community show up to participate in this. And every single Sunday, I love that we get to serve coffee with our Honduras partnership. It is a beautiful thing, coffee with a purpose, that we actually get to partner with one of our global all nations partners every single Sunday through drinking coffee. And if you remember to last year, it's hard to believe sometimes looking back. I love that we've been able to see Jack come on full time and stepped in a role. We've been blessed by incredible worship leaders throughout Hillcrest history. We believe that allocating resources to a full-time position in worship was a great opportunity to step into. And so we've seen, I think, both with our worship and comms. Internally, I love that internally Jack has freed up Renee to be focused more on some of the operational things around here. But externally, I've loved seeing some of the more cohesive connection of some of our pre-service slides and some of the calendar events that make it easier to sign up for the things that happen around here. So it is hard to believe that was just this year as he's jumped into this role. And for me, a big thing that I absolutely love. It's hard to believe we finished James this spring and sought to really ask the question, God, help me see the circumstances of my life through your eyes. And I love hearing the stories, your stories, talking about how God was shifting the paradigm and the way you were viewing the circumstances. And now, as we've jumped into Luke, I love seeing our 15 life groups. We saw this multiplication of life groups happen, 3 new life groups this fall of seeing the life bubble up and then multiply. I loved hearing stories of people pray, God, what are you inviting me into today? I've been so encouraged by your stories on what God has been doing in your ongoing spiritual transformation. In addition to that, seeing the way those everyday missionaries have been using some of these adult ministry platforms. I loved seeing our women invite other women to spa night, and I loved seeing women leverage their homes and making gingerbread homes, but actually inviting people into their homes and in from their neighborhoods into their homes to make these gingerbread houses. I heard about guys who attended the golf tournament who then wanted to inspire or were inspired to go golf with some of their neighbors. I loved seeing the men gather at a Packer party, not just to gather as men at a Packer party, but then actually have a Packer party in their home to see this increased expression of being an everyday missionary. Larry, what else maybe has been encouraging you about what God's been doing in our church family in 2022?
Well, our next generation, Tyler's leadership in student ministries, and Aaron's in kids ministry. This summer we had VBS again. We had 120 kids in attendance during the week. And another thing, family night has been huge in bringing people to Hillcrest. Aaron has really put together some really fine family events. We've seen a lot of people come into that. We've had some leaders in student ministry step into significant roles. They're contributing their time, treasure, and talent on Wednesday nights when the students meet. There are some new leaders who are working on Sunday morning. This past summer we had 22 students who went to Dallas on a missions trip, and several adult leaders. They did a variety of different serving ministries while they were there: community cleanup, serving in a clothing shower facility. In 2022, we saw 35 7th to 12th graders on campus every Wednesday night, and about 12 5th to 6th grade kids each Sunday morning studying the Word.
And so one way I've loved seeing that continue to be pressed in is through Aaron developing some very clear at-home family experiences in Easter and Christmas. That has been an intentional shift to continue to say parents are the primary influence in kids' lives and the development of their faith. And so how do we equip parents to continue to step into that role? One way was through some devotional kits that Aaron provided with her team this Christmas and Easter. And as we think about kids, what about just even on some of the other beautiful things that are happening, maybe on the other side of life?
There was some sadness to the year as well. We lost 4 of our elderly saints this year. Maxine Sebastian, who served so loyally in this church for so many years. Bev Anderson, a founding member, in fact. And so we greatly miss her. Tom Schmidt, who was a long-standing pillar. He most recently had been living in Florida, kind of a snowbird arrangement, and it was in Florida that he got sick and passed away. But we were able to celebrate with his family here at Hillcrest. And most recently, Karen Anken had been with us for 10 or 12 years, served on our All Nations team and in other ways. And so there was some sadness in their passing, but we know where they are now. They're with Jesus, and they were all happy to make that transition. Our Joy Connect ministry transitioned to a new leader. Fred Anderson, Fred and Dolores are leading that ministry, and we've had a really good turnout in all of their events. They love to do potlucks together. They do Bible study on Tuesday mornings. That community has been growing, and they have been having a great time, feeling really connected and growing in fellowship, relationships. And it's really been great watching Fred Schmidt thrive in his pastoral duties here. He does so many things in this community. He's such a great counselor, and we really don't have time to talk about all of the things that Fred is doing, but he is really thriving in his roles here at Hillcrest.
So incredibly thankful for all that God's done in and through your generosity of giving through Hillcrest to this mission, to this vision of being people helping people find life with Jesus. We're excited to continue to see this desire for multi-generational community and ministry to take place as we give away our faith, our big faith. We're excited to try something, Meals with Jesus. You're going to see a few of these on Sundays where we're bringing kids into the Sunday gathering a few times this spring to experience Meals with Jesus. More on that to come. And just what we talked about last summer at our annual meeting, just looking at people that are hurting around this idea of human sexuality, maybe struggling personally, or maybe someone who's waffling with the truth. This coming spring, following Easter, we're going to provide an opportunity just to unpack some of the layers of what it means for those to feel a little more equipped to lovingly stand for the hope, the truth, the joy of the gospel, and to support those who might be struggling personally in this particular issue in their life. We will keep you apprised. We had Building God's Way come out, and they are currently in the process of putting together some plans that they want to share with us, and so we're excited to share those in the new year. Thank you for your love, your generosity to Hillcrest, and we are excited for what God has done and what he continues to do in the years ahead.